Hey, Allison, welcome to the show.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
I should say hi, Nora, too, because you have a little baby that you're cuddling right now. And he's so cute. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's currently on a nap strike, so here
You,
we are.
you do what you gotta do. That's mom life.
Yeah, totally.
So tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm a business strategist for Mompreneurs. I help mompreneurs raise their businesses while they're raising their families so that they can live life by design. And that term, life by design, is a big motivator for me and for my clients because we don't want to live life on anyone else's terms but our own. So I help women really connect to their ideal client through authentic social media with inclusion of Facebook Live. I help them introduce automation into their business because they need to be able to take a day off and things still work for them.
Yep.
And I'm a big fan of email marketing because, again, it kind of goes into automation. It helps you to really connect to your ideal client in just kind of a different way than on social media.
Okay, I love it. So automation, are you using
Mm.
Pinterest?
Well, because of you, I am,
Okay,
yes.
good. Good. Because that's like the ultimate automation, and you have
Yes.
to.
Yes, you have blown my mind recently coming to regarding Pinterest. Like I didn't even have an account before.
Oh my God.
And you were like, well, you're insane. You need to have a Pinterest account, and here's why. And so, yeah, you've blown my mind. Yes.
Cool. Cool, cool. So you've become known as kind of like the Facebook ads, Facebook group kind of guru. So talk to me about Facebook groups and how to use them effectively. Let's start there.
Sure. So I've had my Facebook group. It's been around for maybe 2 years, but I actually really didn't start doing anything with it for until like the last, I guess, year and a half. And the reason why I started really diving more into my group is because as Facebook's algorithm changes, you always hear about that, and everyone goes into crisis mode after a change. Um, Facebook has always, 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 always favored groups.
Hmm.
They don't want your page to do well. They are not interested in you in your page if you're not paying for ads. But they want Facebook to be a social network, a social media network. And so Facebook groups are a great way to develop that community that they want you to create on Facebook. And even like your personal page doesn't get as much traction as it used to or your personal profile, sorry. Your personal profile doesn't get as much traction as it used to. And Facebook groups they're really king.
Oh, so cute.
So Facebook groups are a great way to really get, number one, ideal clients
Yeah.
in a sort of captive, like as a captive audience, through the name of your group. And it's also a great way just to get that know, like, and trust factor with them because it can really help you to connect in a different way to your audience and to your group members.
Awesome. So how do you monetize your Facebook group?
So that's the hard part, right? That's the
Okay.
question everybody
Yeah, the big
has.
question.
Yeah. So it first kind of comes with developing a community. So it has to do with you kind of stepping into the role of a leader and the role of an influencer. Because regardless if you want to be an influencer or not, as the head of a Facebook group, you're the person that determines its success. You're the person who determines how people act in it. And you need to become the leader of that group. So one of the best ways to really just become that leader is encourage your group members to talk about themselves. I know that sounds silly, but the more opportunities you give them to talk about their business or talk about what they do or talk about their lives or talk about, anything they really want to talk about, um, and ask questions and then answer those questions through your expertise, the better. And maybe that is for different groups, it looks different, but it can be done through like live events. It can be done through a regular kind of posting schedule. So if you do like prompts or anything like that, um, establish a culture in your group. So something I do in my group, it's kind of a twofold thing. The reason why I do it is I do live stream Wednesdays because not a lot of groups offer live streams,
Mhm.
or the whole Facebook Live. I do Facebook Live Wednesdays. So what it does is it allows my group members to come. They can connect. People love Facebook Live. They can pitch in their Facebook Live, and they're supposed to offer value. So it helps my group, and it's a unique thing. Not a lot of groups do things like that. So it's kind of like a unique cultural thing in my group. And the other side of that is Facebook's algorithm likes Facebook Live. So the more Facebook Lives are done in like a small amount of time in your group, the more likely your group is to show up in the suggested groups area. Oh. So like having things like that in your group that are kind of like part of the culture. So every single Wednesday, my ladies know that between the hours of 2 and 5, they can do a Facebook Live. And it works really, really well.
So they do the Facebook Live, or you do? Anyone does?
They do it. Oh. They do it. Yeah. Okay. So the group like opens up between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock for Facebook Live broadcast. And that's fun. Yeah, normally it's a strictly no Facebook Live except for me sort of situation. But just by like giving them that platform, giving them that permission, they like write it on their calendar and they show up for it every single Wednesday.
Okay, that's super fun. I like that idea.
Yeah, it is really fun.
Okay, cool. What do you think you can post too often in a Facebook group, or do you have like a set schedule?
I think you should have a set schedule. I think you can post too often because you don't want to be in your group all the time. Mm-hmm. Your group is there for camaraderie. Your group is stop. What? Stop. Sorry. You're fine. What? What do you want? Mm-hmm. All right. Oh. Okay. So your group is there for camaraderie. Your group is there for feedback, but you also shouldn't be dependent on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in order to show up. I think maybe earlier on in your group, yeah, you need to post a little bit more. But I think that if you really want to empower your group to develop a sense of community, you need to facilitate that, but you don't need to force it. Mm-hmm. So it's important that you post regularly, but posting like 5, 6, 7 times a day, that's just way too much. And like, what are you doing in your business if you're posting on your own Facebook group 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day?
For sure. Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. So I'm really excited to talk to you about Facebook ads because it's like a magical thing that I feel like only certain special people can actually understand and do. And you have that gift. So let's talk about Facebook ads, and let's start with the secret to high converting Facebook ads.
So it's a little different for everybody. Okay. But I think the secret to high converting Facebook ads is, number one, having an image that actually stands out from the newsfeed. So like my branding is really, 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 really bright. I have lots of bright colors. I have lots of alternating colors. And that's done very intentionally because when you do Facebook ads, your ads are against a white background with like a blue border, right? Those are the Facebook colors and they're really boring. So if you can have an image that really attracts the eye, is like stands out, that has lots of contrast, I think the better. Because that's the first thing that gets people to stop scrolling is a really, really bright image. The second thing is a really captivating headline. So the headline is the text below the image, that like bold, larger text. Mm-hmm. So having something like a question or having like mentioning a pain point that your ideal client is dealing with. And even maybe reiterating that through text in the image, because that's another way also to attract.
Can you give an example of like a converting headline?
So one of mine is, are you looking to book your first client? Okay. And it's for a funnel for a program for early stage entrepreneurs. Okay. So yeah, so every like who's not looking to book their first client,
right?
Or do you want to know 10 ways to book a client? Like that's a good one too. Mm-hmm. Another one is, do you want an inside or do you want a sneak peek into my $30,000 launch? Like a breakdown of that. So like things that your ideal client is looking for or wants to know, or pain points that the end product, whatever you're going to be pitching, sells.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So I like that. I like that. What about audiences? So this is something that, so I tried to do Facebook ads myself. It was just like a hot mess. Um, and I was so confused with like audiences to target and all of that. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, audiences can be hard. So I think this is where market research comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to find out who is the person that's farther along than you in your business that has a bigger following.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, it's Marie Forleo or Danielle Laporte, or who's someone else I target? Sandy Krakowski.
Yeah.
You know, bigger people who have a large following. You want their following to be, I would say, at least 500,000 or more, if you
Okay.
can find that.
Okay.
Because then you're going to get a good range of people. You're going to get a good range of people seeing your ads. And then other things to think about are terms that people might search on Facebook.
Okay.
So one thing that works really well for me is the term entrepreneurship. What? So one thing that works really well for me is the term entrepreneurship and the term social media marketing, because my ideal client is probably searching those terms on Facebook or have searched those terms on Facebook before. So targeting those audiences have worked really well for me. So think about not only like pages that your ideal client might follow, but also terms that they might search.
Okay. And when we do the ad, so let's say we're in the Power Editor. They still call it that, right?
Nope, it's called the Ad Manager. They got rid of it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
See, this is why people need you, because it changes all the time. Like you have to know.
Yeah.
So you have the ad, and then you have separate ad sets still, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're doing our audiences, do we do one audience per ad set? Is that how you would run it?
Yes,
Okay.
because what happens if you combine all the audiences into one ad is one audience could be doing really, 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 really well. The other audiences could be doing really badly. So your ads aren't giving you an accurate reading. You don't really know who's doing well and who's not doing well.
Okay.
So separating your ad into multiple ad sets, it'll help you to find out really quickly what works really well and what works really badly for you.
Okay, so we have one ad, and then could you have like 10 ad sets with all these different audiences?
Yep, I usually do 30. I have a list of 30.
Wow.
Yeah, audiences that I target. So when I'm setting up an ad, it's just the same ad repeated over and over and over and over again to different audiences at first.
Okay.
Yeah, and what that allows me to do is I run it for about 48 hours, and then I see, all right, this one's working really well. This one's working okay. This one's working terribly. So I turn off the terribly working ones.
Yeah.
I leave the ones that are working really well, and I boost the ad spend, so the money you're putting on it. And then the ones that are doing okay, those are the ones that you need a split test. So you could create the ad again and change the image.
Okay.
And so keep them running and see if the image performs better. So keep the old image, keep the new image, and see, which one converts better. Okay. Or you could change the copy, or you could change the headline. Like you can split test different factors and see like what performs better. So like when I'm targeting Marie Forleo's audience, I know that they don't want to see an image of me because I've tested it. So when I run ads to Marie Forleo's audience, I have a bunch of flat lays that I had done for my business. I use an image of that. But the audience entrepreneurship, for some reason, they like my face. So I run ads that has my face on it for them. And I know that through split testing. And it's always true. It never deviates from that rule that I've discovered.
That's just like such a huge light bulb moment for me. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Different audiences like different things.
yes. Okay. That's crazy, but so cool. Okay.
Hmm.
How much would you say it costs per lead for you on average?
For me and for my business, it's usually about 85 cents an email address.
That's pretty
Other
cheap right now because sometimes
super
it's,
cheap.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, so that's just traditional Facebook ads.
Yeah.
When I do Instagram story ads, and if you guys aren't running Instagram story ads, you need to get on the Instagram story ad train. I get around 16 cents a conversion.
Per email address?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 16 cents? Okay, that's
Yeah, it's
okay.
awesome.
That's insane. So talk about the Insta story ads. What are you saying in those ads?
See, I think the thing about Instagram story ads is they can be so casual. They
Yeah,
don't have to be perfect at all.
yeah.
So I did one, um, I ran a webinar about, it was something to the effect of like raising your business and raising your family at the same time, and ways to like automate and outsource and time management, things like that. And so I did an ad where I was holding Nora and I had like a burp cloth like across my shoulder. And it was like very real. Like it was like totally like how I was that day. And she like dropped her pacifier in the middle of it and started fussing. And it's 15 seconds long. So it's a really short time to just like get in, get out, and like get it done.
Yeah.
So I just talked. I was like, hey, are you looking to like spend less time with your business and more time with your family? Are you looking to outsource? Are you looking to introduce automation? If so, I have a webinar coming up. Swipe up and get yourself registered. Something as simple as that was really, really effective. And then you can always add like funny gifts. You can add the swipe up gift to have them actually swipe up.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be anything fancy. That's the thing.
I love that you did it with Nora and that it was like totally off the cuff. And I bet that's like what because when TJ was a baby, I used to do all these workout videos in my fitness business with him crawling all over me. And it was just
Yeah.
like a hot mess, but my audience related to it so well because they're like, that's my life. Like, that's my
Yep.
life. I need help doing what you're doing so I can stay fit. Like, can you help me? And
Yes.
I was just watching those videos the other day and it made me so nostalgic, but that's so funny. Okay, so Insta story ads. And so put gifts on there. Do you recommend putting like text on there too and having like something that says like swipe up, like big and bold, or does it matter?
I think people legit like gifts. I
Oh
think they think
yeah.
they're funny. I think that they think that they're like entertaining. So I always include a gif if I want, something to happen. So there's a lot of like swipe up gifts if you search them.
Yeah.
So when you're running ads, no matter how many followers you get the swipe up feature. So definitely put like a swipe up gif at the bottom so they know to do that. And then, just any other funny things. Like I had one that was like had the word this and then like fingers pointing up.
Yeah.
And people loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when you're getting started with Facebook ads, did you have to like test a bazillion until you found one that actually converted? Like how many do
Yeah.
you think you tested?
Oh, I don't even know. Hundreds.
Hundreds. Okay. That's what I did too
Hundreds.
because back in my day, like in 2013, maybe when they were just becoming popular and they were super cheap, I used Facebook ads to build my Facebook fan page to 50,000 followers. And I remember split testing them, and I think I tested several hundred of different images and different text to figure out what would actually convert at the cheapest rate. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't have the patience for, and they just have to know like you have to test a lot and fail a lot and like get nowhere and then keep trying and keep trying, just like anything in business, right though?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to waste a lot of money. That's really all there is to it. If you've never run ads before, like, yes, you can take the courses, you can hire the agency, but if you don't know, audiences that work for you, if you don't know, let me get her pacifier. Wait a second.
Sure.
Okay, we're much happier now. Okay, so yeah, if you, you don't, when you first start running your ads, you're not going to know what audiences are going to work well for you. You could have someone in the same exact like space as you running ads to a certain audience, and the audience may just not work for you.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's just a matter of kind of figuring out what works for you as an individual. And agencies, ad agencies can definitely help you do that quickly. But I also think you kind of need to know what works and what doesn't before you work with them, because your ad agencies are not cheap. So you want.
No, they're not cheap. Like, you have to have something that's really converting well, and you're willing to put a fair amount of ad money on it for it to actually be worth it.
Yeah.
And by not cheap, we're talking like $2,000 a month. Is typical.
Yes, that is the new norm now.
Yeah.
So before you do that, before you drop that kind of change, you need to make sure that you actually kind of know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. We are so grumpy.
Oh.
What? I think we're good.
Okay. Talk to me about retargeting ads in Facebook pixels.
Oh my, the Facebook pixel.
So what is a Facebook pixel? Let's start there.
So Facebook pixel. What? Stop. What do you want?
You want to see me, don't you?
There you go. You want to see Miss Rachel?
She wants a nap.
Yeah, she does. Okay, so the Facebook pixel is a bit of code that is installed on Nora. Yeah. What? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. So the Facebook pixel is a bit of code that is installed on every single page of your website.
Okay.
So when you run ads, you create what's called a custom conversion to tell Facebook what page you want them to track.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah. So how does this work? So like, if let's say I have just like one on my blog. So would I set up an ad and I could target anyone who's visited my blog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So something you could do is, let's say you do a Facebook Live and you embed it on a page on your website and you drive traffic. Hey. Hey. Okay. So you could do a Facebook Live and you could take that video and you can embed it on a page on your website and install the pixel on it. You could do a Facebook ad for traffic targeting that page. So you're going to drive cold traffic to that page.
Okay.
And then from there, let's say in the Facebook Live, you mention a freebie.
Mm-hmm.
You could then, because of the pixel on that page, retarget people who visited that page and send them the ad for the freebie.
Genius. So let's say they watch that video and you could just say, hey, I talked about it in the video. Make sure you go get your freebie.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
How would you use it in, let's say, like a sales page, having a Facebook pixel on a sales page?
So let's say you're doing a launch
Yeah.
and you're, a 2-week long launch, you're sending out emails, sales emails, you're hardcore plugging the program, and it's going to close in 5 days. So what you could do is take your pixel is going to be installed on that sales page. You could create an ad to target people who have visited the page.
Okay. So
And
would
you
it
could say
be,
like, it's closing in 5 days, closing in 4 days, closing in 3 days.
so would you create a custom audience of people who have visited that page, but not the thank you page?
Yes.
Okay. So for anyone who
Yep.
doesn't know, custom audience is like if this, then that, right? So like if they
Yep.
kind of like that. So if they've watched a certain amount of a video, you could set up a
Mm-hmm.
custom audience and target them.
Yep.
Okay. And if they
Yep.
visited a certain
Totally.
page, but not a thank you page, you could set up a custom audience and target them for that.
Yes.
It's
Exactly.
insane what you can do. Like, it's
Yeah.
insane.
It's
Oh,
awesome. It's awesome,
it's a
but
little
also
scary.
a little scary
It
sometimes.
really is. I'm like, holy moly. Okay. What if an ad isn't converting? Do you just like completely get rid of it, or would you split test it, or what would you do?
You could try it. So if an ad's converting at like $4 and above, I would just turn it off and
Okay.
like start over. If an ad is converting between, I would say, $1 and $4, that's when you can be like, okay, so let's start trying some new things. So I think the first or
Okay.
the easiest thing to do is change your image.
Okay.
So let's say it's an image of you, try finding a stock image. Or if it's an image of like a flat lay on your desk, try doing you. And I find that the images of you that you're looking directly at the camera, those are really the best for some
Mhm.
reason. I think because of the human eye contact. I think that's important
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that. And then I think in the ad copy, that the text above the image,
Hmm.
you can split test really long versions and you can split test really short versions.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is having kind of like brand language. So something I say a lot in my brand is like, are you riding the struggle bus?
Yeah.
People think it's funny, but it's like actually something I say a lot. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
riding the struggle bus today. Like this isn't working or whatever.
Yeah.
But like having copy that number one is very you and your brand, but
Yes.
yeah, but number two, like gets their attention. Like struggle bus is kind of a funny, like, oh yeah, everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say, are you riding the struggle bus?
So you shouldn't try
Um,
and sound like a marketer.
no, not at all. Just
Okay.
like how you talk. So even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
maybe record yourself talking about this freebie that you're offering or whatever it is that you're promoting,
Yeah.
and then just transcribe it.
I love that. So one of my
Mm.
ads that when I was doing it myself, but it converted really well, and I even got some private clients out of it. It was me like using a ton of emojis, saying things like "dude" and "hey girl boss," and like it was so informal, and it was just like I
Mm-hmm.
was talking to my BFF. And the picture was me like sitting at my desk, like laughing and looking right at
Yep.
the camera, and that was what worked really well. And it was so funny. My client, after she signed up with me, she was like, "Do you know why your Facebook ad worked so well? It was because I felt like you were talking directly to me and I was your friend and you were looking right at me." And I was like,
Yep.
haha.
I'm on to something here.
Yeah, so I think I think a lot of people when they first start doing them, they try and sound too much like a marketer and like too much
Mhm.
like ad copy and not enough like personable, like you're talking to a friend.
Right. And think about it like this too. If you're like if you're promoting a course with video or a one-on-one program that you're going to sit here and talk to them with,
Hmm.
um like they're going to get you. Like they're going to get your mannerisms, how you talk, how
Hmm.
you are. Like right now I'm sitting in my basement and you see this, you see me, you see this.
Hmm.
Um so it's important that the person that you are in your ad is still the same person that you are in real life.
Yeah, because what if they see the ad copy and then they go to like a sales page, a landing page or something, and it's totally different?
Right. Yeah.
Then that's not going to convert either.
it's confusing, and
Right.
it creates a weird feeling about your brand.
So do you recommend having like the similar copy and similar image and color scheme on the ad as it is on the landing page? Like
Yeah.
opt-in page, everything like super congruent. So when they go from one to the other, they're like, aha, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think you can have a different image or slightly different copy, but it should look like it's from the same business.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, cool,
I don't
cool.
think it has to be exactly the same. Because there's definitely things in like landing pages that convert better than things in Facebook ads. There's different things that work. But yeah, definitely should look like it's from the same person and same company and same business.
Okay. Do you have any other ad secrets to share with us?
Hmm. I don't.
You don't? You're like,
I,
got them all.
I think I kind of spilled all the beans.
You spilled all of the beans.
There is, okay, so I can tell you this. There
Yeah.
is a targeting that not a lot of people know about. So, when you go into the ads manager and you select your countries,
Hmm.
so a lot of people do Canada, US, UK, Australia, because they're the English speaking countries.
Yeah.
Those are really expensive countries to target because they're the English speaking countries.
Right.
So they're more expensive for some reason. But there is another country setting you can have that's called worldwide. And so it targets everybody.
Yeah.
And then you can go in, and if you're worried about like language barriers, you can go in and select English. So that no matter what country they're in, they're still going to be able to communicate with you.
Okay. Well,
So that has worked really well for me in the past.
yeah.
I've gotten some interesting email subscribers from it, but all in all, it's been really beneficial.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
something I did not know. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. What does it mean to you to make an impact?
What does it mean to me to make an impact? Well, first and foremost, I think that the biggest impact that we can make is at home because we are raising the next generation.
Yeah.
So if you raise them to be impactful people, I think that's a big impact you can make.
Yeah.
But also, have you ever done the Danielle Laporte 3 core beliefs exercise?
I've read the desire map. I'm not sure about the 3. I did like my core desired feelings. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, they are freedom, generosity, and security.
Okay.
So for generosity, I think, as women, as online business owners, we are like, we have no limit in our income. We have no limit on the impact that we can make.
So
So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's
I
an
know.
amazing thing to be in. When I was teaching, I used to teach at the college level. I knew when I was 60 years old, after working in this job I was in for 35 years, I was going to make $80,000 a year. And I was like, okay, like that's good money, but like really, it's not enough money to make like an impact.
Yeah.
And you can make impact with your time, you can make impact with your business, but you can also make a really big impact through money because let's be honest, organizations need money.
Absolutely.
In order to function, in order to do big things. So I think that for me, making an impact is being able to give to the causes that I feel really, really, really passionate about, and being able to do it in kind of a way that makes me excited and knowing that this is actually going to go towards that cause that I love and that I feel so strongly about.
It's so cool because the more that you make, the more you can give. And
yeah, exactly.
It's so cool. So what are some of your favorite organizations that you love to donate to?
So I give to World Vision.
Me too. We sponsor kids in
yeah.
Senegal with them. I love them.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
sponsor kids in Ethiopia. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of World Vision because they have one of the lowest overhead costs. So like I think it's like 99% of the money that you actually give them goes to the actual individual or cause.
Yeah.
And I remember one time my sponsored child is named Abu. He is 14 years old and he is the head of his household. So he lives with his grandparents and he has 4 brothers and sisters, I believe. And he's never gone to school. When we started sponsoring him, he was 10. And he was the one that planted the crops and did the animals, and he's the one that made money for his family, and he lives with his grandparents. His parents have never been mentioned, so I don't know. I can only imagine what that deal is. But yeah, so when we started sponsoring him, we gave an extra like $10 a month or something like that. Like nothing. I mean, you pay like $35 a month. So like I think we gave $45 a month. And they wrote us this letter that was just, it was like pages upon pages upon pages about what the extra $10 did. It bought
Wow.
like chickens, and then he was able to like get eggs and then kill some of the chickens for food and was able to sell it. And then the last letter we got from him, he had started going to school because he had developed, like he actually like got his farm up and running and like had employees. So he was going to school. He was reading at like the 3rd grade level. And he was talking about in his letter how he wanted to be a doctor. And I was like, holy crap, like
You're gonna make
this
me
isn't even,
cry. Like,
it's
oh my
not
God.
even like real. Like it's not like this is crazy right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like just things like that. Like that's a big organization I believe in, because they're very good. And then I also give to the American Cancer Society
Okay.
because cancer runs rampant in my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I love
Yeah.
that we have world vision in common. I love,
Yeah. It's
and
an awesome
if you ever
organization.
get a chance to visit, your sponsor could go. My mom and I did a mission trip in Ethiopia, and it was amazing country. Um,
Yeah.
so gorgeous. But we actually sponsor a kid in Kenya with Compassion International. And when
Oh, cool.
I was living there and I got to meet her. And that was one of the coolest experiences ever. We actually planted a mango tree together, and they like welcomed me into their community and had this big like it was a big deal. It was so fun.
That's amazing.
It was really cool.
Yeah, one of my business goals is to be able to, because you don't get to sponsor them after they turn 18.
Yeah.
So it's one of my goals to go visit him before 18.
Do it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. What's next for you?
What is next for me? Man, I'm launching a mastermind in June, which I'm excited about. It's a 6-month-long mastermind. But really what's next for me is 2019. I want it to be, I think I want to be, I think this is where I want to go. Our businesses are always changing.
Yeah.
But I think 2019, I really want it to be the year of like I become the go-to expert to help moms raise their businesses. And so I really love group coaching. Like I love, number one, the people you get with group coaching. Like you and I are in a mastermind together, and that's how I got you. So like I love that. And then I also love the idea of working with someone for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so like my clients are generally like that too. So I want to launch like this epic mastermind in 2019. That really makes a big impact. Like I want it to be like the thing that I become known for. And I want to help every single woman that I work with to hit their first 6-figure year.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. Okay. Where can we connect with you?
So you can join my Facebook group. It's called the Mompreneur Community. If you just search it, you will find it on Facebook. And you can just visit my website, AllisonHardy.com, and all of my goodness is there. And you can listen to my podcast through that website too.
Awesome. We'll put everything in the show notes. Girlfriend, I could talk to you forever. You have so much knowledge and you're just a cool person. And I'm so grateful that we connected. Thank you for being on with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.